It's how Dr. John Peterson with TE2 Sports Cards, and I'm coming at you live and direct from Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's Sunday afternoon, and I'm finally getting back to this vending box break or vending pack break. It I had started earlier, and we went to get the Christmas tree, and so I took a little break. This is part three, actually, and might end up having a couple other episodes or parts to this as we kind of move forward here with these vending boxes. 83 tops, my favorite 80s top set by far. Like it better than 80, 81, 82. Yeah, tons of stars, tons of rookie Hall of Famers. Of course, there's Gwynn, Sandberg, Boggs. So far, I haven't pulled out a ton. I've opened up the first vending box and just it started the second one. Pulled these two. So far, I've pulled these two. Gwynn is off-centered, which is unfortunate, but still in a PSA 8. Still get probably 30, 40 bucks for it. Sandberg looks pretty good, though. So, I mean, it's always a crapshoot with PSA. I mean, there's never any guarantees with that. Also pulled out a couple of other decent cards. Let's see here. I would say the best of these, pulled out these that I thought were pretty well centered. There's a Bench. I think Bench is the greatest overall catcher in the history of the game. Probably make a really good argument that Piazza's up there, especially as a hitter. I think Piazza's the best hitting catcher of all time. You can also make a good argument for Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra won 3 MVPs. A lot of people don't know that. I think he won 3 MVPs like in a 4 to 5 year time period back in the early 50s. So Berra was a beast. So let's get this in here. This is a Gaetti rookie card. And then we got this Schmidt. Schmidt's pretty good. And of course, there's always a little bit of chipping and on the edges, and some of the corners come damaged, and I mean, you name it. It's a bit of a crapshoot with, this stuff's 39 years old, so you're gonna have issues with the condition of the cards. That goes without saying. Picked these up from BBCE last week, exactly a week ago, and felt like it was a decent deal. Got 10% off and no shipping cost. So that guy Eddie had a pretty good career. I don't think these are 10s, but you never know. Let me pull up the PSA website quickly. See, some people have jumped in and then jumped out. That's fine. I don't mind. These always get put out there after the fact too, so whether people jump on or whether they watch it later is fine by me, really of no consequence. So I would say these 5 are the best that we've seen so far. So I'll probably send all these in for grade, even this Gwynn. All right, not bad. And these are the cards that we've gone through already. There's the Ramirez. There's a Yount. I think I'm going to put this down a little bit more. There we go. And there's a little less glare. All right, let's keep going here. Let's dip into this little stack here. So the gem rate, just to let you know, on the Gwynn, Um, the overall gem rate of these cards, this set is really not that bad. Um, it's 24,878 gem 10s out of almost 123,000. Where it gets to be a little bit dicey is when you look at individual players. So, you look at, say, for example, the Gwyn and the gem rate, the number of gem rate, or the number of PSA 10s is really pretty low. So it is definitely a bit of a crapshoot with that. Let me just take a look at this PSA pop report here. See if we can get down to the bottom. Just wanted to kind of give you an idea of, so the Gaetti, for example, there's 52 out of 377. So that's basically, what, a 13% gem rate? Not too terribly high. The Gwyn, 698 out of 25,523. That's very low. That's a very low gem rate. So it's tough. Boggs is 373 out of 14,000. So Boggs is just as challenging to get in a gem 10. So it's a pretty big risk, but I think you got a better chance of pulling something good out of this than you do out of a current box of whatever's being sold right now. Nothing against the new stuff, but I'd rather spend my money on this older stuff. So nothing really too centered so far. That one's pretty solid. Well, it's got that little print defect at the top. 491. Let's get to our PSA 10. Auction price realized, PSA 10. 491. Yeah, $42. So Palmer's a nice picture though. There's a cool Yount card. That is a sweet card. Rick Honeycutt, Manny Trio, Jerry Morales. I forgot that Perez had played for the Red Sox. Huh. He was a rookie in '63. Jeez, I forget how far back he goes. Don Ossie. Dusty Staub. It's a Seaver. Looks pretty clean. 581. 54. A little bit top to bottom. Take that one set aside though. Ted Simmons. Super veteran. $451. I have 42 on the Simmons. Pretty decent shape too. All right, we're just looking for something centered here. Dwight Bernard. Man, I remember really liking those Brewer cards. Frankie Jenkins. RD, Ron Davis. Charlie Moore. He was a catcher for the Brewers. Played a little outfield too. That one looks like it's pretty well centered. Charlie Moore, 659, right? $58. Huh. Looks a little bit off-centered left to right, but not by much. Dan Schatzeder, Vita Blue. Tito. That's a card I don't remember. No Naharodny. Bill Naharodny. Jim Eisenreich. There's an Eckersley. That's right, he was a starter. He was a starting pitcher back in the day. Forgot about that. Tugger. Jerry Royster. Jesus. So Sutton. $146 on the Sutton. All right. Not a whole lot in that group. Brett Burns. $261. Oh wow, Tigers batting and pitching leaders 88. Yeah, it's a little dinged up on the bottom left there. Gene Garber, never heard of him. Bob Walk. Phil Garner. Nails, they called that guy Nails. That was his nickname. He just passed away recently, just in the last couple days. So as you can see, it's very hard to find something that's perfectly centered. I mean, yeah. That one's pretty close. Terry Forster. Yeah, pretty darn close on that one. $583. Let's see what that one's worth. $20. I'll just keep going here. Bo Diaz, Bobby Grich. That's a nice one. You can just tell the eye appeal is just it just hits you. 140. Willie Randolph was an all-star, so it should be a decent. Yeah, that's a 94. $94 on a 10. So you get that in a PSA slab, put it up for auction. It'll sell. Rudy Law. Mike Lacoste. That one's a little bit top to bottom. Eric Rasmussen. Actually, let me kind of. There we go. Oh, here's a Viola rookie at the back. Look at that. Frankie V. This one looks real clean. Doesn't look like there's any chipping at all. Top to bottom a little bit. Yeah, look at the back. $586 though. What's this? $51. Only 51. It's kind of surprising. Dwayne Keeper. Looks good. $767. 28. Anything that's centered, I usually set aside. Well, that's nice. George Foster. Little ding over there. Still very centered, though. And in a Mets uniform, no less. $105. This guy had some home run years. He hit 52 one year with 149 RBIs. It's the year I think he got traded. Rob Piccolo. That's a nice one. Marshall Edwards. 582. 18 bucks. Still, though, very centered. There's a Pete Rose. $149. That looks pretty good. Johnny Ray. A little chipping down at the bottom, though. That shows up pretty big on the loop. $149. $159.39 for the Johnny Ray. Yeah, centered, but chipping down on the bottom is going to prohibit that one from being a 10. Johnny Grubb. And the Orozco looks pretty nice. One thing you don't see with these cards is a lot of print defects on the surface, which I think is pretty nice. Not like this newer stuff. 20 bucks on the Orozco. Yeah, not quite perfectly centered though. Oh, here's a nice one. That's a nice card. The Henderson. Corners look pretty good. Yeah, this top left corner is a little bit soft in the back. Look there. Not bad. Oh, no, sorry, it's the back right. Back right and bottom right. What's this card worth, though? What? $867 in a Gem Mint 10? What? Can that even be right? Wow. Yeah, going back to 2018, this is a $200 card. My goodness. Now on a 9, it drops off considerably. It's like 25 bucks. Huh. Probably should sleeve that one. It's unfortunate that it's not in... Corners aren't in better shape. It's pretty centered. Why is that card an $868 card in a PSA 10? What the heck? That's hard to believe. See, look. Ricky Henderson, $867.88 in a PSA 10. So that's the thing about some of these older cards. I mean, yes, you are dealing with some suspect printing quality, but other than the centering, these cards come through pretty clean. Like I said, I'm not seeing a ton of surface defects and wrinkles and all kinds of crap like that, print lines and whatnot. So, I mean, you hit this card and it comes back as a 10, that's $870 bucks. You'd be hard pressed to pull an $870 card out of a box of current stuff. Here's what we got so far from the first box and a quarter. Got this, the Brett, Sandberg, off-centered Gwynn, Sandberg, sorry about the bright lights, Schmidt, Gaetti, and then that Henderson. No Boggs yet. No Boggs. Let me back this up. Quirk. One of the things that I like about this too is that you get a really good eye for eye appeal. Like this card, you think, yeah, that's a nice card. Top to bottom, just doesn't cut it. Toby Hurrah, or whatever his name was. Third baseman. Manny Trio. One's decent. $3.98. $50 in a PSA 10. Is that a 10? Might be a little chipping down at the bottom though. A little chippy. Al Oliver. Sorry, I'm going to tilt this up a little bit again. So watched the Vikings game, second half. They won. Came down to the wire. Watched it with my son. He's a Vikings fan. I'm a Packer fan. Looks like the Packers won, beat the Bears. At least the Packers can still beat the Bears. They ain't beating much anybody else. Joe Cowley, Bill Madlock. He won a batting title, Madlock did. He hit 341 in 1981. Holy buckets. Negro. Marty Bystrom. Sal Butera. That's pretty well centered. 67. What's the Butera worth? You know, it's interesting. I've never seen anyone on YouTube do a vending box break. It's kind of one of the reasons why I did this. I was like, you know what? Has anyone ever done a vending box break? Where they've just broken into a vending box? I mean, you can buy cases of this stuff. Not 83 necessarily, but $5.98 on the Mumfree. This is the card number. Let's see what this is worth. This one's pretty nice. So I feel like there's 53. I feel like there's a rhythm to like the centered cards with these 83 tops. It's like one in every 6 or 7 cards is really nicely centered. So that's 1. Let's count. 2. Nice card, but not centered. I'll set it aside though. 3. 4. Top to bottom. 5. 6. 7. Yeah, there's a pretty nicely centered Frazier. 123. A little off top to bottom though. I'm not going to set that aside. Whoops. Mike Prowley, Craig Reynolds, Ron Reed. That looks pretty good. 39. Terry Poole. 27. Yeah, nothing special, but still, like I said, it's centered enough that it's worth setting aside. Reardon, Ozzie Virgil. There's a nice one. Nope, left to right. That one's nice, but there's a little chipping down at the bottom. Buck Martinez. Just looking for centered stuff because you send these into PSA and you get back some 10s. People are going to snap those up if you do an auction. Kiko Garcia. Pretty damn close. I'm going to say maybe... Yeah, tough to say. There's a little chipping down at the bottom, too. 198. $22.50 on the Garcia. Yeah, so as long as bulk rate's around $15 to $20 for PSA, it's not really a viable. There's a Herbeck. Is that a rookie card? No, I don't think so. God, he looks so thin there. 690. Let's see what that's coming in at. 56. Looks pretty clean though. Little bit maybe, maybe not. Looks close to a 10. Bert Hooten. No, not that one. Steve Sachs, Gerald Thomas, Dave Garcia. There's a nice Gantner. This guy's Hales Corners, Wisconsin. He's a Wisconsin kid. Yeah, he's a nice second baseman. Played second base with Robin Yount, shortstop for the Brewers. Tony Scott. That's a nice card. Look at that card. 507. Yeah, that one's nice. What's Tony worth? 22.59. Joe Rudy and Joe Torre. Okay, went through that stack. Let's go through the next group here. Got my handy dandy card mat here. Mickey. 56 Topps Mantle. All right. Greg, not to be confused with Craig Nettles. That one looks pretty good. 635. Actually, these look better than I thought they were going to be. Like when I compare these to say like football, $70. 82 Topps football. These are way better. Yeah, way better. Hendrick. Oh, there's the Rice. Shoot, the Rice is worth some cash. Here's a Jackson. Ooh, now that's a nice one. Not worth a ton. I think this is only like a $50 card, but still. Ooh, 125. Yeah, let's sleeve this one up. Let me just take my glasses off. Yeah, a little chipping down at the bottom. So, probably not a 10. I'm not going to sleeve it up right now then. Chipping seems to be an issue with some of these cards. Dan Ford, 683. So it really becomes just a numbers game. You know, when you submit these, you submit a bunch of them, use a group submitter. Of course, you screen them first yourself. But, you know, you send in 8 and hope that you get one back that's a 10. You know, you send in this Ray Burris, 474. Of course, it's got to be worth more than the cost to grade it. But as the grading wars continue, you know, you're going to see decreased prices for grading, which is a good thing for the consumer. Ken Obergfell. Yeah, you can just kind of tell which ones are centered and which ones are not. Like that one looks good, but top to bottom, left to right, not really quite there. Now that Herndon looks pretty, top to bottom again. It's kind of hard with the camera, with the phone. I can't really see the bottom of the card all the time. Gary Ward. Yeah, a little bit left to right, but overall pretty good. 517. $28 card. Yeah, it'd be nice if PSA bulk would go down to like $10. I doubt it will, but I think they're going to price drop at the end of the year. That one's nice. Yeah, look at the back though. It's off. John Watson, not to be confused with Watham. Denny Walling. Yeah, upper left-hand corner, though. So for me, I always look at centering left to right. Here's a Yaz. Great card, but not centered even close. Well, we haven't had a big hit here in a while. Not since that Henderson. It's been a couple stacks here. We got to hit something. Onyx Concepcion, Money, Householder, Enrique Romo, Schmidt, Rick Waits. Yeah, I got a run of non-centered ones here. So it looks like it. You can get a group of them that are not. That's really off-centered for this. I haven't seen anything quite that off-centered. Yeah, this little run here is not very centered. Jeff Burrows. It's decent. 648. 36. It's like Gossage. Chilla, Ron Jackson, Rod Scurry, that's an interesting card. This is a nice one. So this is the second Welch that's come through that looks pretty solid. Tiny bit left to right, but top to bottom looks pretty decent. Let's see here. Set that aside. Oh, here we go. We got a Sandberg, and it looks like it's pretty well centered. Yep, it looks like it's pretty well centered. The Sandbergs are coming through real nicely. Oh, a little bit top to bottom and a little bit left to right. Damn. You can just tell how thick that is down there. Still a nice card, though. I mean, let me look at this with my glasses off. Yeah, a little chipping down at the bottom, but Sandberg came through pretty good. Not as good as the other one. Be very careful putting this in. Otherwise you can add to the chipping. These edges are very soft with these 80s cards. It's not like the chrome stuff where you can just slam it in there and not really worry about it. These guys are made of pretty soft cardboard. Let's compare this to the other two. All right, so we got this one. That one, to me, looks very good. Got this one, which looks pretty good. A little chipping down there, a little notching. This one, probably the worst of the three. This one I just pulled. Still, though, fun to pull a 1983 Topps rookie Ryan Sandberg out of a vending box. How many people can say that they get to do that? Randy Martz. Leave him out of there. Well, let me see. 22. You never know. Sometimes these common cards can be worth a lot. $20. Yeah, he's pretty well centered. All right, next group. All right, here we go. Larry Gura, Don Warner. This card. This is the second one of these I've gotten. Both of them looked real good. What's this worth in a 10? So again, numbers game. 158 in a 10. The box cost me $300. So I got 2 of these now. They both look real good. Send them both in. Maybe one's a 10. Boom, there you go. Auction it off and you've made back half your vending case. John Stearns, 212. I don't remember seeing this card yet. 117. So the only thing about this one is it looks like there's a little bit of chipping down the bottom. Pretty minimal though. I mean, 10 years ago, PSA would have given that a 10. So, Kent to Colby, got a couple of those. Here's a Brett. All right, not bad. Not bad. Card number 600. I think this is a couple $100. Yeah, 455.83 in a 10. Probably not a 10 though, right? Left to right. Let's see what it's worth in a 9. $22 in a 9. What a drop off. Holy cow. To go from 450 to 22 from a 10 to a 9? Holy buckets. Plus it looks like there's a little, oh, it's on the print of the card, sorry. All right, let's keep going here. Juan Beniquez. Buddy Bell, son of Gus Bell. So some of these cards, they come through a little dinged on the corners like that right there. See that? I don't know why that is. Must just be the way that they're packaged in the vending case or the vending box. See, that one there is a little rounded. You got to be careful of that, especially when you buy like stuff that's got like a plastic sealed wrap on it, like the 87 Donruss rookies. You might think, oh God, I want to get myself a Maddox, want to get myself a Bo Jackson. Yeah, it's nice, but once you open those, the corners are rounded because they were sealed in plastic. So you got to be aware of that when you buy stuff online. And people know that, so like they offload that stuff intentionally because they know they can't get 10s out of that. Mike Squires, $91 in a 10. So the only issue I have with this is a little bit up in that corner. Yeah, it's not sharp. And I mean, it's got to be crisp. Centered though, so I'll set it aside. Here's a Schmidt. Pretty nice. What's that one? 301. I think he's the greatest third baseman of all time, in my personal opinion. Great fielder. People don't realize he won like 12 Gold Gloves. I think Roland had like 9. I think he had as many, if not more, than Brooks Robinson. And Brooks Robinson is considered by many to be the greatest defensive third baseman of all time. Kevin Hickey. That one's pretty clean. 278. That's $20. Yeah, I'm gonna let that one go. It's Carlton. 406. Some of these all-stars are worth actually more than the base card. Yeah, 73 for this Carlton. And a PSA 10, but not a 10. Greg Nettles, Vale Balboni, Larry Anderson, Bill Stein. Yeah, look at that left corner there. Nope. Jerry Martin. Nope. What's this one? We're a 71. Looks pretty clean on the back, pretty centered. Although centering the back to PSA isn't quite as... So the regular Carlton's 327. Holy buckets. Wow, I'd like to pull one of those. Dave McKay. Joaquin Andujar. Greg Pryor, Chambliss. Mike Richard. Youngblood. I've seen 3 of these and not a single one was centered. Welch. This is the 3rd Welch I've seen centered. So clearly there's a pattern to which cards are centered and which cards are not. That's another nice Welch. It's 3 of those that have come through pretty nicely. So I did a little break last night of some 89 score. Let me show you how I did on that. So a lot of this stuff I picked up last week just because it was all on sale. I mean, it was... So this was the best of the best that I pulled out of that box of 89 score. I pulled out 3 Aikmans, but 2 of them had the hologram on the front of the card and it left an indentation. There's the Dion. He just took the job at Colorado. And then 2 Sanders rookie cards. I think the one on the left is a little better, but that's just me. This one's got a little bit of white showing there. So that was that box. All right, so we've got about, I don't know how many more cards. 3 more stacks, I would say. Another Sandberg. Oh, yes, sir. This one's nice, too. The top right corner, a little bit soft. I mean, not touched, but just a little bit rounded. How are we doing down on the bottom here? Yeah, this one is really centered. You can always tell when you match up these corners down here, if the angle from the left corner and the right corner is the same, basically the same degree, you know you got a pretty centered card. It's up here, it's a little tougher because this drops down, this border. That's the 4 Sandberg. Well, I tell you what, if we can get 1 gem mint Sandberg, that'll have paid for at least 1 box. Now let's be very careful putting this in here. All right. Yeah, Sandberg, one of the better power hitting and, I mean, incredible fielder. What, he won 8-9 gold gloves? All right, so we got 4 of these now. Send all 4 in. Card number 83. 1,300, 1,325 and a PSA 10. Holy schlitz. And in a 9, $70. Well, all you got to do is just hope that 1 comes back as a 10. Just hope that 1 comes back as a 10. 1 of the 4. That's what you bank on. So here's this guy again, Dick Ruthven. Comes back nice and centered. This one's pretty nicely centered too, number 212. Man, I just love doing this stuff. I mean, it doesn't get boring to me. 117 on the Stearns? Holy buckets. A little top to bottom. But worth setting aside. Another Brett. Ooh. That one's nice. That one is nice. Holy cow. Yeah, that one looks real good. I am pretty surprised how nice some of these cards are coming out. I did not think that these were going to be as centered as they are. See, I always cut a slit in my penny sleeve. Little chipping down at the bottom, so the likelihood that this is a 10, see that chipping down there? That's going to hold it back because you put that under the loop and it looks like the Grand Canyon. So not a 10, but a PSA 9. I'd probably get 30, 40 bucks for that card. Here, let's look and see. It's card number 600. 455 and a PSA 10. And again, this is 20 bucks in a 9. And again, this is PSA. So, I mean, PSA is not the most reliable. Their data usually is a little bit old, a little dated. Most of this data is from late October. It looks pretty good. Willie Upshaw. Ogilvy. I'd like to see a regular base Ricky Henderson. Haven't seen that yet. Mike Flanagan. 445. $25, not much. Yeah, a little bit off, left to right. I'll leave that there. Show looks pretty good, 68. $32. There's a stain down at the bottom. It's one of the things I like about these vending boxes. It's just so random. I mean, with packs you kind of get into a bit of a sequence, but this seems like there's some different runs of the same cards. But I mean, that's the third, the 4 Sandberg in 2 boxes. That seems like a pretty high insertion rate for that card. Tommy Herr. Yeah, this is a nice card too. I got a couple of these Baylors. Ooh, that is a nice looking card. Look at that one. Wow. Yeah, I spoke too soon. Here to here. Still, I'll pull that out. Danny Darwin. Good old Pete Vukovich. Steve Comer. Be nice if we get one more hit. King Kong. Randy Johnson. There's a Carew. Both the Carews were off. Neither one was centered. Yeah, that's close. It's close. It's close enough for me. There's a Suitor. That one's pretty nice. Andy Trio, Jerry Morales, Bill Fahey. 196. $20. Looks pretty good though. Yeah, a little chipping. Every single one of these has a tiny bit of chipping. There's a Fingers. That's a nice one. 36. That's one of the more centered super veteran cards that I've seen. All right, that's a pretty good stack. Oh, Guess who's on the top? Look at this. Boggs. What do you know? Good old Wade Boggs. Let's see how centered it is. Very careful taking it out. Not centered. First Boggs is not centered. So that's too bad. But that's the way it goes. Willie Guillermo Hernandez. Yeah, his name was Guillermo. His real name was Guillermo. Dan Norman. I don't know too much about that card. $76 in a PSA 10. Problem is there's some snowing on there. Can't set that aside. Tim Flannery. That's a pretty nice Gritch. $387. 52. How do you think? Set it aside? I think it's worth setting aside. The Penguin, Ron Say. Ooh, this Murphy looks pretty good. 401. 72. One flap down, Jeff Leonard. Ooh, that's a nice rose. Minimal chipping down at the bottom. I mean, there's a tiny bit, but not much. A little bit left to right. What's this coming in at? $397. 150. PSA 10, 150. It's worth a shot. Here's another rose. Yeah, get that guy in the Hall of Fame. Get his card values going up. That's what I say. Oh, here's another Henderson. This card's worth a ton of money. Unfortunately, it's not centered. It's a third Viola. They've all been pretty centered. I think we got one card left here. All right, so I think we did pretty good. I think we did really good with this box. We pulled out 2 Sandbergs, this Brett, the Henderson. So big cards wise, we did about the same as the first box. But in terms of cards that are pretty well centered, I think we did pretty dang good. A little bit bigger stack than the last one. So I'll go through these again and make sure everything is on the level. But I guess I could go through one more case or one more box. Or I could go to something else. Should I do another one of these? I got 5 left. Should I do another one of these little vending case breaks, or should I go into something else? Leave me a comment if you want. Open up a box of 87 Donruss, or I got some 83 Fleer. I've got some 2002 Ultra basketball. That's pretty fun stuff. I haven't opened any of it yet. That's super. Actually, got to be careful because I don't have any more space in my 5,000 count box. So you can see I keep these 5,000 count boxes here so that I'm putting these cards away immediately. Each vending case has 500 cards. So it's about half the length of one row in a 5,000 count box because each row is 1,000. So you definitely want to make sure when you're opening up cards, packs, that you have a vending box, 5,000 count. I like 5,000 count vending box to put your cards into. Otherwise, they can get damaged, fall over, get a bunch of stacks of cards, that sort of thing. Well, I think I'm going to call it. I've been on this for an hour. This is part 3. Let's see here. I think we did pretty decent. All these look pretty centered. There's the Boggs. Boggs is like the most off-centered of all of them, which is a bummer. Let's see, what else did we have here? George Brett, a little bit off-centered, the left to right. That Jackson was pretty good. Set that one aside. So you just try and, it's a game. It's definitely a game. I mean, you're looking to find a product from a particular year that has the highest percentage of potential hits, matching that up with the printing quality, and then looking at the odds of getting something graded that's going to come back in a nice grade. Let's put it this way, there's more ways to lose than there are to win. So, all right, well, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Check out the channel, subscribe, like,